Yo, RX finally back with another breakdown of UFC Vegas 107 Blanchfield versus Barber. God, this poster's terrible. Blanchfield Barber, UFC Vegas 107. We back with another breakdown of a card in the Apex that is not stellar. Funny enough, as I said that, the Morales card 2 weeks ago came to mind, which was a good card. But on paper, I think that one might look a little... Well, no, I think I'm lying. I think I remember saying I think this card had a little bit more of an undercard to it. I would have to go back and look at the Morales card because I don't remember it fully at the moment. But what I do know is the one we have this week, not from 2 weeks ago, which was a really good card. I will give them that. The one this week is a card. I'm not gonna say what everyone else says because I think it's fucking stupid. The main event is fine. Like, it's a women's main event. I don't give a fuck if it's a man or woman main event. If it's a main event worthy fight, cool. It's a top 5 fight. Number 3 versus number 4. The winner of this probably rematches Manon, or fights Manon. Who gives a shit? Like, if it's a top 5 fight, it should be the main event. And it's not the only decent woman to fight on the card. On the main card, you also got another decent one. Yes, I agree, the co-main is very good. Gamrot, Leavitt, Klein. But it should not be a main event. An unranked dude in the main event, something y'all... If that was the main event, a lot of people would cry about that. So, no matter what, no one will ever be fully pleased. So, fuck them. What I know is I'm fine with it. This card's okay. It has some potential. It has some decent fights on it. Really outside the first 3 fights, after you get past that, you get to a pretty solid card. So I'm excited for it to an extent, mainly just because fights are back. Because last week we had nothing outside of Road to UFC, which was okay. I can't believe that recap actually did pretty well. But yeah, we needed a real card back, and we have one here. And the good thing, this is the last Apex card for like 2 months. I saw the schedule not that long ago, and like this is the only Apex card for a while. Like the next one's not till like probably like August or some bullshit. Like June and July are all like Azerbaijan, pay-per-views, fucking Saudi Arabia, this, that, the other thing. So Atlanta, Nashville, so what can you do? It's better than not getting a match in 2 weeks for like 3 weeks, really, if we're going off 2 Apex cards back to back. So, as much as I don't like the Apex, if the cards are at least good inside of it, fine. Not saying this one's gonna be good, because it doesn't look like it will be, but it looks like it'll be bearable at least. So, I don't know, I'm not gonna shit on the card. If it deserved it, I would. But again, after you pass the first 3 fights, everything else is pretty okay. So I'm excited for it just because it's the first card back in 2 weeks. And yeah, right, a week before pay-per-view, Sean O'Malley, that's my boy. So nice appetizer to that, and a nice way to come back. So what can you do besides say, fuck it, we're gonna watch it no matter what, so let's just hope it's good. So, with that being said, not very much more I think to say about the card before we get into the breakdown. Looks okay. I'm not gonna shit on the main event for no reason like everyone else, because it's beyond corny. And, yeah, I'm happy to be back. I know I did a video last week, but it's our first breakdown in 2 weeks. And, yeah, I hope y'all did enjoy the Road to UFC video last week. Something to get out during the break week, and we will get more of that, like especially with Contender Series coming back, Road to UFC, etc. But right now, and for a while, the UFC is back doing cards, and so we're going to be talking about those. So let's not waste any more time, and let's adjust that. So last thing I'll say before I get into all that is, as always, please like, comment, and subscribe. 100 subs go by the end of 2025. Almost at the halfway point of the year, so that already moved up since the beginning of the year, so can we hit that 100, please? It'd be kind of cool. If not, what can you do? So, whatever. What I'm going to do right now is stop rambling for 5+ minutes in the goddamn intro, and I'm going to get in to the breakdown finally, because I know that's what y'all are thinking if you did not just already timestamp skip to the first fight. So I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm gonna get into the breakdown. So yeah, I said all the bullshit I need to say, so let's do it. UFC Vegas 107 breakdown. We're back. You ready? I know I am. Let's do it. It's good to be back. Not in the Apex, but good to be back with fights. As we begin on the prelims in the women's strawweight division for the worst fight on the card, I will agree with people there, not because it's a woman's fight, because it's a really low-level woman's fight. As we have in our opening fight of the night, our first fight back in 2 weeks in the strawweight division, Rayanne dos Santos, I guess not Amanda anymore, versus Alice Ardelean. That's how the commentators always say it, so I guess that's how I'll say it at this point. Fuck it, why not? Yes, this is an Apex fight, alright. Yeah, what a terrible fucking fight. 0-2 against 0-2 on paper. What a banger, right? Let's get into it. As we'll begin with our first fighter of the night, Rayanne dos Santos. Rayanne in the UFC's 0-2, even though a lot of people say she should be 2-0, which is kind of hard to deny. She definitely beat Toledo Allan, so worst case scenario, she's 1-1. And then the Puja Tomar fight was a complete coin flip. I forget how I scored. A lot of people gave it to Rayanne, so I get that. That could have went either way. I say she should probably be 1-1 in the UFC, but 2-0 also worked. And she's just been unlucky. Like, in her whole UFC career so far, even if you go back to when she was on the Contender Series, she fought Denise fucking Gomes. Like, what a great Contender Series opponent. Yeah, really pulled the unlucky fucking card there, didn't you? But she was able to bounce back from that, and now she should be bare minimum 1-1 in the UFC, if not 2-0. But that's about where the positives with Rayanne will end, because I don't really got much more great to say about her. Even getting those 2 wins, they're against some of the worst fighters in the fucking weight class. Toledo Allan's garbage. Puja Tomar's very low level. So, even if she did get those wins, they would not be good wins anyway. And I just don't think Rayanne's that great of a fighter anyway. 14-8, like, even with a, 16-6 record, what do you really think of her anymore? Highly? No. 29 years old. She's okay. I've not seen anything great in her game, but I've not seen anything where it's like, oh, she's garbage. She's meh. I don't think she's long for the UFC, and I think the funny thing, the really only thing keeping her afloat in UFC is she's fighting the worst fighters in the goddamn weight class. Allan, Tomar, Ardelean. UFC must really like Dos Santos, because goddamn, they're giving her the cakewalk of cakewalks, so the judges fucking hate her, but the UFC clearly likes her for some reason, so they keep giving her cakewalks and she keeps getting robbed, so let's see if that changes this week. She's not a bad fighter, but do I really think highly of her? No, I think she's about a D-level fighter. So, again, she's fought the lowest of the low, and then the only time she fought something legit was Denise Gomes, and she got destroyed, so I know that's kind of a bad measuring stick, Denise fucking Gomes, but that's just also the truth. The one real fighter she fought, she got destroyed. So, what you want me to say? But, yeah, we'll see how she does here, getting another tomato can. Maybe she'll finally get a win in the UFC without and get fucked over. And, but we'll see. Judges are judges. I think one of those robberies no, neither of them were in the Apex, right? Oh no, wasn't the Allan one? Yes, we know even judges Apex don't like. Kentucky and Nevada don't like Rayanne dos Santos. Maybe that changes this week. It should, because this fight shouldn't even fucking be close, so. Why do I say that? Because she's fighting the OnlyFans model herself, Alice Ardelean. That's right, Alice Ardelean. Oh boy, she's still here. 0-2 now in UFC. Even though speaking of robberies, I do think she got robbed. Do I still think she got robbed in that Banan fight? I do. Yeah, she got robbed in, again, her debut against Banan, which I guess just goes to show how garbage Shana Banan is. And then she got beat up by Melissa Martinez, so, yeah. 1-1 now in UFC. In my opinion, 1-1. She's terrible. I just be blunt about it. She's fucking garbage. Yeah, again, I know I said she got robbed against Shana Banan. Shana Banan is one of the shittiest fighters I've ever fucking seen. I'm not even fucking kidding. She is one of the shittiest fighters ever. All she fucking does is throw a teep kick. She has no idea how to fight. And then Melissa Martinez, that was the definition of a mismatch. I wish I knew it at the time, because I picked Alice like a fucking moron. So I wish I knew that sooner, but now that I know that, yeah, Ardelean's garbage. 33 years old, 9-7 in the UFC now, or 9-7 in her career. She's an OnlyFans model. Like, she's one of those fighters. Hannah Goldie, Paige Van Zandt, yada yada. She's a model, not a fighter, and that's about that. Yeah, she'll probably lose this and be out the UFC. A quick 0-3 UFC career and you're gone. I've seen it many times, especially with fighters who come in on short notice. They give them all the chances in the world, and then they get rid of you. Or lately, they've kind of been one and done. So whatever. Yeah, I can't even point out a positive in Ardelean's game, because I would have to remember something she did in a fight. She can't strike, she can't grapple. She's not good. It's truly that simple. She's just not good. So, yeah, she's pretty much a 3-0 and 0-3 in UFC, and you're gone type of fighter. So, seen it before, gonna see it many more times. About the long and short of it. The betting odds for this fight have Rayanne dos Santos minus 340 versus plus 265. I agree, but it's worrying because the judges. Overall, if you take away judges being stupid and you told me the judges are going to get this right 1000%, then yeah, I agree. But that worry about the judges kind of brings me down a bit. I'd probably have Dos Santos minus 300 on the dot. Like, she should still win. The fight shouldn't even be close enough for it to be a robbery, in my opinion. But we'll see. I'm going Rayanne dos Santos by decision, which I know has kind of bit people many times in the past, but it shouldn't here. It truly shouldn't. Dos Santos is just better. And I don't even think Dos Santos is that good, like I said, but I do think she's just better. Like, what the fuck is Ardelean gonna bring here that Dos Santos hasn't seen? Against much better fighters, so I don't know what you really want me to say. On paper, Rayanne should win this one with fucking ease, but factor in the judges, might be a little tighter than it should be. But that's not gonna stray me away from making the obvious pick, because it's obvious, and that is Rayanne dos Santos by decision. I really struggle to see her choking this one away by having to be a close fight, and I struggle to see the judges fucking this one up. So, give me Rayanne dos Santos by decision. There's no way she'd get robbed 3 times, right? That'd just be batshit. She's not Jose Aldo. So, give me Rayanne dos Santos by decision, and what should be a fucking layup that shouldn't be close, and she shouldn't be able to choke it, so everything's lining up in her favor. Win a fight already. Give me Rayanne dos Santos by decision. One of the fights of all time. Very low level. It's about the nicest thing I could say about it. Next, we go to our first male fight of the night, and a fight that changed yesterday. So we have short nose replacement, very short nose actually, so that should always make it more interesting. As we have in our second fight of the night, our first male fight of the night in the lightweight division, we have Bolaji, the Zulu Warrior Oki, versus Michael, the Texas Kid Aswell. like I said, this fight did change on short notice. I think yesterday it was. It was meant to be Marquel Medeiros versus Bolaji, but Medeiros pulled out, and Aswell stepped in, so actually the rare time a short notice opponent is actually really fucking good. It's funny I say that, as earlier today Chaos Williams got a new opponent for next week, and it's a complete joke, so what does that tell you? But nonetheless, this is actually the rare good short notice step in, someone who probably should have already been in the UFC, and I'm happy they're finally getting their shot. So this should be an interesting fight, even though it's kind of a contender series fight, bona fide contender series fight. Still should be interesting. I'm still intrigued, and let's see what happens. So we begin with the veteran of the two when it comes to being in the UFC, Bolaji Oki. Bolaji in the UFC is 1-1, coming out of contender series where he looked amazing, and then he kind of stopped looking amazing. Against Timmy Kwamba, he looked okay. He clearly won, but it wasn't as dominant as it should have been against like one of the worst fighters on the roster, in the division, whatever you want to say. And then he got fraud checked by Chris Duncan. He shot a takedown, got guillotined, and got put out cold. And now he's back for the first time since getting fraud checked back in September, fighting Michael Aswell. Yeah, Oki's not that good. He hits hard. He hits hard. I don't know what else you really want me to say. Grappling is not a strong suit of his. He really underperforms at times, like the Kwamba fight. But yeah, he does not really seem like anything that great. So, like, Chris Duncan is not a bad loss, but like, come on, if you want me to believe this dude is some real prospect, you gotta beat Chris Duncan. Like, same with Jordan Fusenich. I said the same thing of him. If you want me to believe you're a real prospect, you gotta beat a Chris Duncan, a guy who's okay. You can't even do that. Yeah, you kinda suck. So, yeah, Oki's a decent striker. He has good power, but again, grappling is not a strong suit. Cardio's I just don't think much of Oki. I think he's a guy he's one of those guys who looked great on Contender Series and then stopped looking great. And he did fight a tomato can on Contender Series. What does that tell you? But yeah, not a lot more to say about Oki. We'll see if he can bounce back here. He's had enough time. Again, in September, last time he fought. He's had 2 fights canceled since. Now he's actually going to get to fight, so we'll see how he looks. We'll see, man. We'll really see. Yeah, about really all I can say. I don't know, how does he respond to getting fraud checked and right not looking good since the Contender Series? Let's find out. And for his opponent, another Contender Series alum, even though he did not get a contract on the show, even though he probably should have, 24-year-old Michael Aswell. Aswell, of course, making the UFC debut, one of the few on the card to do so. He did find Contender Series back in 2024, where he had a banger, one of the best fights of the season against Bogdan Grad, where both guys should have got a contract, in my opinion. Kind of bullshit that Aswell didn't. And I think I scored a fight for Aswell anyway. But then he went back to the regional scene, even after Dana said he'll keep an eye on him and call him if they need him. He got a win, and now they need him, so they called him, and now we get to see him in the UFC. Interesting note is he fought Yadir Del Valle, who we just saw 2 weeks ago look amazing. So he's fought some good fucking fighters. Del Valle, young in his career, Bogdan Grad, who looked good in his UFC debut. I don't think he's that good. He looked okay. Now Oki, this dude's fighting a lot of fellow prospects, which is kind of interesting. I'm excited to see Aswell in UFC. I'm happy he's finally getting his shot. None of his regional wins are that impressive. I've never heard of anybody. His last win was an 8-3 guy. So his win before Contender Series was an 11-4, I guess, champion in Fury FC. So take that as you will. 10-2, 24 years old. I'm excited to see him in the UFC again. He looked good in that Grad fight. His striking looked good. He got decent. Power's okay. I don't remember a lot of grappling, so forgive me there. But yeah, he can go 3 rounds. He has good striking. He's a good addition to the roster. 24 years old. I'm happy he's getting his shot. He deserved it after the Contender Series fight, let alone now on short notice. So, and he already had a fight booked, so he's already kind of in camp to an extent. So, I'm excited to see Aswell in UFC. Not getting the hardest of a debut, so let's see what this kid can do. He's finally getting the big spotlight. Looked decent on Contender Series. Okay, how does he look here? Up a weight class? Well, let's find out. The bang I'd say he's gonna look like shit, with Bolaji being minus 360 to plus 285. I think those odds are kind of questionable. Like, I get Aswell's coming in on very short notice, but the dude's not bad. He's not a tomato can. Like, if you want to say, oh, he's a featherweight, yeah, but he's only 2 inches shorter than Oki, so I don't think he's gonna look undersized. I just feel like a lot of people I feel like they're looking at, oh, dude who lost on Contender Series. They didn't watch the fight. If they did, I think a lot of people would understand this is not a layup for Oki. If Timmy Kwamba wasn't a layup, Michael Aswell ain't. So, take that as you will. I still get Oki being the favorite, but I would probably have him closer to minus 210, I think would make more sense. 360 just is kind of out there, and that's kind of a theme with a few fights on this card. I think a lot of odds are kind of blown out of proportion for no reason, and I definitely think this is one of them. Yeah, again, I would have Oki like minus 210 at most, and even that's kind of a reach. I don't think he's some lock to win. Aswell is going to bring it to him. Aswell is good on the feet. I think Oki has more power, but Aswell is good on the feet. And if he has any bit of a ground game, which again, I don't remember if he does, he could win this. So, more than likely he doesn't. I think we're probably going to a striking match, but we're going to find out. Like, again, Aswell's not some pushover. He's not that much shorter. He's 2 inches shorter with, what, a 4-inch reach disadvantage. That's not bad for a featherweight, so this is going to be an interesting one. This should probably be a really good fight. Could easily be fight of the night. But who am I picking? Give me Aswell. I think the kid's hungry. I think the kid's good. I don't think Oki's that good. Give me Michael Aswell. I think he's ready. I think he's gonna make the most of this opportunity. If he can survive getting punched a few times and not getting knocked out, I think he can take it to Oki, gas him, and break him. Give me Michael Aswell by decision. I think his only path to victory is a decision because he has no submissions on his record, and I don't think if he didn't knock out Oki, if there's a finish in this fight, it's probably going to be an Oki knockout, but I really struggle to see that because Grod hit Aswell a good amount of times and couldn't knock him out, so what take that as you will. It's gonna probably be a 15-minute banger, and it might be even a close one, but I'm gonna lean with the underdog. I'm gonna lean with the debutant. Give me Michael Aswell by decision. I think he's gonna be able to take it to Oki and break him. I think Aswell has better cardio. I think he has better striking overall. I think, again, Oki has the power, and again, grappling, we'll see. Give me Michael Aswell. I think he's hungry. I was gonna pick Marco Medeiros, who was an underdog as well. I think Aswell's better than Medeiros. I think Medeiros, like, out of these 3 prospects, Oki, Medeiros, and Aswell, I think Aswell's the best. Oki just got fraud checked. I don't think Medeiros is that good. He probably just lost to Austin. A lot of people think he lost to Austin Hubbard. Aswell, I think's good. No, I don't even, I'm not gonna act like he's some champion, but I think he could do decent in UFC and have some bangers, so give me Michael Aswell by decision. Could this pick look stupid and bite me in the ass? Of course, every pick could, and a lot of them do. But I'm gonna take the shot. I'm gonna go with the underdog. Give me Michael Aswell by decision. I think he's gonna be able to outlast Oki, have better cardio, better striking, and win. He's hungrier, man. You in a fight, you want to pick who's hungrier. Give me Michael Aswell by decision, and what should be a fucking banger that I cannot wait for. Fucking short notice matchmaking by the UFC. I can't wait. Michael Aswell by decision. Speaking, my voice went there. Speaking of short notice matchmaking, Our next fight, another fight that had someone pull out and then someone step in. This one not as good as the last one, but at least it'll lead to a nice easy finish, because the original fight was kind of hard to predict. This one's a complete layup, as we have in our third fight of the night in a catch weight bout at 180, because again, short notice, it would have been welterweight, because that's what these guys are, but short notice, I think last week, I want to say, so it's at catch weight, as we have in our third fight of the night, in our final debutant of the night, I believe. Yes, sir, because that's a big thing now, which I think is cool. Debuts should be an important thing. I think it's always cool to have a debut on a card. And we have our second and last one here, as we have in our third fight of the night, in a catch weight bout, Andreas Bane Gustafsson versus Trevin the Problem Giles. Well, this fight downgraded. The other fight upgraded, this one downgraded. And this one happened, I believe, last week when Jeremiah Wells pulled out, who was going to fight Gustafsson, and now Trevin Giles steps in. Yeah, kind of a downgrade. Gustafsson and Wells, I have no idea how that fight was going to go. Gustafsson and Giles, I know exactly how this fight's going to go. So, downgrade. It's downgrade, but at least we still got Gustafsson on the card, finally making his debut, because he was meant to back in January on the first card of the year. The better late than never, and let's see what happens. And of course, we'll begin with English. It's good to be back. We'll begin with the debutant here, Andreas Gustafsson. 34 years old, pretty old for a debutant, especially off the Contender Series, but he looked good. Because in that Contender Series fight, he had a banger. He kind of just took it to that Pat dude. He put him on the cage and just beat him up in the clinch. Eventually, after enough damage, the dude just broke, fell to the floor, and that was a win for Gustafsson. So, yeah, that's how you get a contract. And now we finally get to see his debut. Again, he was meant to debut back in January against Preston Parsons. That fell through. He had to pull out, and that's when Parsons had to fight another debutant. And now he gets to fight a replacement himself in Trevin Giles. Gustafsson's interesting. I don't think he's going to go far in the UFC. Again, 34 years old, 11-2. Beat a can on Contender Series, getting a can in his debut. So, I think he'll probably just be a guy who has fun fights. I don't think he'll have a fucking anything special in his career in terms of like winning a belt or anything. I think he'll be a fun fighter, and that's about it. Maybe I'm wrong, we'll see, but the fun fighter is the most important thing to be, so what does that tell you? Yeah, he looked good on Contender Series. He's just gonna try and break the opponent, which, you know, is always good to see, and we'll see if he succeeds in doing so. So, he should here, because I think the guy he fought on Contender Series is probably better than Trevin Giles, and we'll see how he looks here. Debut, finally, long overdue. See how he looks. 34 years old. It's still pretty old for a prospect coming off Contender Series. Let's see how he looks though. Age is just a number. A Glover Teixeira. And he should look pretty good in his debut, because he's fighting Trevin fucking Giles, who is still fighting in the UFC in 2025. What the fuck? 7-7 in the UFC. He's garbage. Like, he's one of the worst fighters I've ever seen at welterweight, and yeah, this is gonna be his last UFC fight, thankfully, so yeah, he's fucking garbage. Respect for stepping in, because that's why he's done this a few times. He's stepped in on short notice, but yeah, he's gonna get his fucking head caved in here, so fuck him. And then the betting odds for this fight have Andreas Gustafsson -165 to +140. I don't really get why the odds are so small here. I think Gustafsson should be a way bigger favorite. I would have Andreas -400. I don't know why he's not a bigger favorite. 400, 450. He's fighting Trevin Giles, who's pure garbage. I don't. Do people just not think Gustafsson's that good? Because there's no way you think Trevin Giles is good. So, 13% wasting a pick on Trevin Giles, Jesus. Yeah, I really don't get the betting odds there. I think should be, again, 400, 450. And I'll even go as far as saying my lock of the nights this week, Andreas Gustafsson. I don't see him losing to Trevin Giles. Trevin Giles is garbage. The only guys he's been able to beat lately were Luis Cosi, who most people don't even remember he was so shitty, and Preston Parsons, a fight he probably didn't even fucking win. So, what does that tell you? And his last few fights have just been taking ass beatings against real fighters, so whatever. Yeah, I'm taking Andreas here by knockout in the first. I think he's going to run through Giles. I think he's going to be able to break Giles pretty easily. Many have, and it's not too hard. Yeah, he should be able to break Giles pretty fucking easily, so that's my lock of the night. Andreas Gustafsson, debutant. Yeah, he should beat Trevin Giles. You should beat Trevin Giles. If you can't beat Trevin Giles on short notice, you fucking suck. So, but I don't think Gustafsson's that bad. I think he can beat the bottom of the barrel. So, give me Andreas Gustafsson by knockout first. My lock of the night. Yeah, fighting Trevin Giles. Do I need to explain more why he's the lock of the night? Don't lose to Trevin fucking Giles. So, yeah, that's about that. Simple. Trevin Giles fighting 2025. Nothing more needs to be said. What needs to be said next is our co-main event of the prelims. A short prelims, only 5 fights, but that's because we did lose some bullshit. I'll talk about that on the main card. Not this week. You already know about what I'm talking about, so I'll talk about that later. But first, we gotta get to our co-main event of the prelims in the lightweight division. I think this is when you can say the card actually starts and gets pretty decent. As we have in our co-main event of the prelims, a pretty decent fight in the lightweight division. 2 pretty well-known guys who probably won't have the best fight, but you never know. As we have in our co-main event of the prelims, Jordan the Monkey King Leavitt versus Kurt the Hurt Holobaugh. Decent fight, 2 decent names. Should be decent. Pretty solid Apex prelim. Shocked to say not on the main card, to be honest. It shouldn't be, but I'm shocked it ain't. And yeah, should be decent. So decent prelim co-main event. Let's talk about it. And we'll begin with everyone's favorite Monkey King, Jordan Leavitt. 11-3, 29 years old. Have not seen him in a while. I did not even notice he did not fight in 2024. I thought he did. I guess not, though. 4-3 in the UFC, coming off Contender Series all the way back in 2020. Since he's again went 4-3, his wins have been Matt Winman, Matt Siles, Trey Ogden, and Victor Martinez. His losses: Claudio Perez, Patty Pimblett, and Chase Hooper. Leavitt is very one-dimensional as a fighter. He's a grappler. He can't really strike for shit, and if he fights someone who actually has a grappling game, he's going to struggle, if not lose, more than likely. As we've seen, if you look at his losses, what do all 3 of his opponents who beat him have in common? They know how to grapple. Like, Matt Winman sucks, Matt Siles sucks, Trey Ogden almost beat him in his debut, and Victor Martinez sucks. That's the only time they actually showed striking, and it was against Victor Martinez, who is just pure garbage. So what does that tell you? I like Leavitt. He's chill dude, but he's not that good of a fighter. Again, he's mainly just a grappler, which is kind of a perfect opponent. He's actually in a perfect style matchup here, to be honest. This is definitely a step down from guys like Patty and Chase, guys who actually know how to grapple. Now he's fighting someone who has no idea how to grapple. Yeah, UFC kind of feeding him a nice fight in his return. Again, I did not even notice he didn't fight in 2024. I thought he did. But now his first fight since November 23. That Chase Hooper fight, which is crazy. I didn't even know, so good to see the Monkey King back. Who doesn't like Jordan Leavitt? And we'll see how he does back. We know what we're getting with him, unless he grew a striking game in the last year and a half, which I'm not going to hold my breath on. See how he looks in his big return. against a fellow veteran, this time a Ultimate Fighter veteran, I guess a Contender Series veteran as well. Kurt Holobaugh making his return after, what, a few months? 21-9, 38 years old. 2-6 in the UFC. Wow, what a fucking UFC career. Oh, he fought early. I didn't know if he fought back in March. I knew that he fought Hernandez. I don't remember it all. Oh yeah, he won that. He got robbed in that fight. I remember it. I remember. Yeah, he got fucking screwed. Shocker. So Kurt Holobaugh, we all know in his early UFC run, he fucking had an early UFC run, lost. Then he won on a Contender Series, got a contract, lost 3 in a row, and then he was on the Ultimate Fighter, won the season, and has won 1-2 since, beating Kenan Khrushchevsky, who's garbage, and losing to Trey Ogden and Alexander Hernandez. Yeah, Holobaugh's kind of what I said of Gustafsson. He's just a fun fighter. He can't really fight. His grappling's pretty non-existent, but he's durable and he's a fun fighter. So if he can find something to throw down with, like a Kenan Khrushchevsky, he's gonna beat him. But the second you start grappling like a Trey Ogden, you're gonna fucking beat Holobaugh pretty easily. And he beat Alexander Hernandez because that was a pure robbery, so whatever. Yeah, not really a lot to say about Kurt. He just goes in there to fight. If someone's gonna get bloody, it's either gonna be him or the opponent. Usually it's him, but sometimes he hits the opponent. Not much. Again, 2 wins in the UFC. What does that tell you? He's not very good. He just be blunt about he's not very fucking good. So whatever. The betting odds for this fight have Jordan Leavitt minus 155 to plus 130. I think the red corner has been a favorite every fight. I agree with those odds. Leavitt minus 155. You'd have him a little higher, maybe 160, 170 at most. He should win this if he can get it down, which I don't see why he wouldn't be able to against Kurt Holobaugh. He should win this pretty easily. Holobaugh, again, has non-existent grappling. Look at the Trey Ogden fight. Trey literally just laid on him for 15 minutes. So, Alexander Hernandez was able to get takedowns on him at times. So, I think someone much better than those guys, like Jordan Leavitt, should be able to do the same. The only worrying part is he's been off for 1.5 years, but if he's not that rusty, he can come back and still look like Jordan Leavitt we know, maybe even a little bit better. He should win this, so give me Jordan Leavitt by decision. I really don't see him having many issues here. The second he starts shooting takedowns and getting him to the ground. So, yeah, give me Jordan Leavitt by decision. Should not be that hard of a fight for him. Get the fight down. It's truly that simple. So, just watch Trey Ogden fight and do that to a T. So, give him Jordan Leavitt by decision in what should probably not be the best fight. Probably not the most exciting if Leavitt wins, but it's good to see Jordan Leavitt back nonetheless, and he should get a win in his return, so always good to see there. And after that, we head to our featured prelim in the flyweight division. A very good fight. Probably a fight getting overlooked, to be honest. But man, is it a really good one in my opinion. I'm very excited for this one. As we have in our featured prelim in the flyweight division, a double return fight pretty much, since both these guys have been extremely inactive the last few years of their career. As we have to finish the prelims with a Brazilian grappling match. I was going to say banger, but I think grappling match would be a lot more accurate. To end the prelims at flyweight, Allan Puro Oso Nascimento versus Jafel Pastor Filho. A very good fight here. Very excited for this fight. Very good featured prelim. 50-50 fight completely, and again, both having a double return fight. 2 years away for Nascimento, year away for Jafel Filho. This fight was meant to happen a few months back. Happy it got rebooked. This is a really good fight. A completely 50-50 fight. I think it's kind of impossible to predict, but I still will try. I'm excited for it. I'm very excited for this fight. A lot of people probably are just looking over this fight, especially. But that's my work, because a lot of people probably haven't seen these two fight, and if they have, they don't fucking remember it, because it was so long ago. So, if you've seen these two fight, you know this should be a good fight, and I'm pretty damn excited for it. So, we'll see how it goes. I'm pretty excited. And we'll start with the guy who's been off longer than his opponent, Allan Nascimento, 20-6, 33 years old, from the Shooter box, 2-1 in the UFC, 0-1 on the Contender Series. He fought Holly and Paiva on the Contender Series. That's not a great loss, but I don't know how that fight went. Didn't watch it. What I did watch is 3 fights in the UFC so far. In his debut, he fought Tagir Ulanbekov in a very close fight. He actually gave him a really damn good fight. And then since he's beat Jake Hadley and Carlos Hernandez, and then he's been off for 2.5 years with 4 canceled fights. How many of them were his fault? I'm guessing all of them. The one wasn't his fault, so, but the other 3 were. This dude's been so fucking unlucky. Like, let alone you fought Tagir Ulanbekov in your debut. Then when you start getting momentum, you fucking get injured for 2 years or whatever, and all that shuts down, so. And now he's 33 years old, coming back after 2.5-year layoff. Kind of sucks for him. He was looking good when he was fighting. His grappling's really good again from the Shooter box. In the last fight, he just ran right through Carlos Hernandez. Striking, I don't remember him having great striking. I don't think either of these guys have great striking. This is going to be a pure grappling match, I'd have to imagine. I don't remember much striking from him. Even when he fought Tagir, a fellow grappler, he grappled with him, put a pretty good fight there. So we'll see if his striking has got better, or if I'm just not remembering him having decent hands. We'll find out. But but it's good to see Allan back finally. Again, 2.5 years. Kind of sucks for a guy who was starting to gain momentum and was looking pretty good. But still only 33, so it could be worse. And let's see how rusty he is. A few returns on these prelims, Jesus Christ. Let's see how he looks after the 2.5-year layoff. Does he still have what it takes? Let's find out. And to talk about his opponent, Jafel, Filho, 16-3, 32 years old, some old dude, some early in their 30s, the guy is taking long breaks, which is probably not the best time to do that. 2-1 in the UFC as well, 1-0 on Contender Series where he got his contract. After winning a Contender Series, he fought Muhammad Mukayev in his debut, put up a great fight, almost submitted him, but then got submitted not long after. But since then, he's went 2-0, beating Daniel Barez and Ode Osborne, and then we've not seen him since March of last year, so not as long of a layoff as Nascimento, but still a layoff nonetheless. Filho's decent. I was really impressed with Filho in his first 3 fights. We all know that legendary fucking knee bar he got on Mukayev, which should have won him the fight. I don't know how it didn't. Then against Daniel Barez, he came back from getting his ass handed to him to submit him in round 1, and then against Ode Osborne, he ran through him like every grappler has. I think Phil is a real prospect in this division if he can stay healthy and fight more. I don't think he's going to be champion, but I think he'd be top 15. Like, he's looked really good in his first 3 fights. So, again, probably should be 3-0. Like, I'm not sure what you really want me to say. He probably should be 3-0. It's a shame he's been out for so long. Only had 1 fight booked in the meantime, and it was canceled back in August of last year due to Nascimento pulling out, which sucks. But it's good to see him back now. Hopefully, for both guys, whoever wins this fight, and even the loser, they both stay active, because, again, I think these 2 are pretty decent. And it would suck to see these 2 waste away on the sidelines any longer than they already have, so let's see these 2 fight as much as they can, because we want to see fighters fight. We don't want to see them on the fucking sidelines injured, so the more we can see these guys fight, the better. So let's hopefully see these guys stay active, and because they're both good, and I think Phil actually has a real future as being a decent prospect in this division if he could stay active, so we'll see. Knock on wood, both guys can fight more after this. Just one more time this year would be cool. But we'll see. We'll really see. What we'll also see is the betting odds having it pretty much a pick'em. Nascimento a tiny favorite. I think that's still kind of true, but I think it is leaning more towards a pick'em at this point, which I think it should be a pick'em. how can you really pick a side here? You're predicting 2-2 with not seen in a long time, especially Nascimento, who's been off for 2.5 years. Is he going to look half as good as he did before? We'll see. And Filho, we've seen more recently, but we've only seen him fight one grappler. We've both only seen these guys fight one grappler, and it was in their debuts, and both guys put up good fights, but lost. Then they went on 2-fight winning streaks against pretty bad fighters, especially when it comes to grappling, and then they took a long break. So it's a very interesting matchmaking, a very interesting fight. I'm very excited for it, like I said. More than likely it's going to be a grappling match, which I'm very excited to see, which I know is kind of ironic coming from me, but I'm very excited to see these two grapple. I'm really intrigued to see who's going to win those scrambles. And then on the feet, I don't know who's a better striker. I want to say Filho by an inch, but every time I swear I've seen Filho strike, he's getting his fucking head beaten by Ode and fucking Barber. So I don't know. This is a tough one to predict. A very good fight, like I said. If you know, you know. This is a very solid fight, and I'm very excited for it. So I don't know. It's a tough one. Who am I leaning? Because again, the striking, we really don't know. The grappling, we really don't know. This is such a 50-50 fight, and I'm very excited for it. But who am I leaning towards? I'm leaning Filho. For the reasons of, we've seen him more recently. Not a year and a half ago, but still, we've seen him against better competition. I think Tagir's better than Mukayev, but I think Ode and Barres are better than Hadley and Hernandez. And I think if it were to be a striking match, I think Filho could be a little bit better. And I think he's going to be less rusty, which I guess it kind of goes with the first point. But it's a 50-50 fight. This go either fucking way, in my opinion. I'm excited for it. I've heard a lot of people are going to get dropped a ball in this fight. A lot of people are going to pick Nascimento, a lot are going to pick Filho, and someone's going to be right. I'm leaning Filho, though. I think he's a little, again, it's completely 50-50. I truly have no fucking idea. But what I'm feeling and the few points I can make towards Filho, more than I can make towards Nascimento, give me Jafel Filho by decision, I think. A submission is possible in this fight because they're going to be grappling so much, but I think I'm going to go Jafel Filho here. It's going to be interesting. I'm very intrigued to see who wins this fight and how this fight goes. Again, I think a lot of people could be wrong about this fight because I don't think you can really make a pick and be certain about it because we've not seen these guys in so long. Neither are good strikers, and the grappling transitions are going to be fucking intriguing as shit. I can't wait. I'm very excited for this fight, and I'm going to go Jafel Filho by decision. Could be a bad pick, could be a good pick. I don't think there is a bad pick here, to be honest, since it is such a 50-50 fight, so we'll see, though. We'll see. Give me Jafel Filho by decision. I think it should be interesting, and can't wait. I think I've said enough about this fight at this point. Again, completely 50-50. Good to see these two back, hopefully fighting more consistently. And for my pick, give me Jafel Filho by decision in what should be a very close fight out. Again, tight one to pick. Flip a coin and you can make as good of a pick in my opinion. But I'm going to go with the underdog. Give me Jafel Filho, the guy we've seen more recently. So that's the prelims. Only 48 minutes. I guess when it's only 5 fights, I can't even get to an hour. Trust me, I would have tried. Okay, prelims. The last 4 fights are okay. The first fight's just garbage. Invicta fight. The last 4 are alright. Aswell should be a banger. Gustafsson should be fun. Leavitt, probably the worst of the 4. But even that's okay. And Nascimento Filho's awesome. I can't wait for that. So some decent prelims, especially for an Apex card, some really decent prelims, and it should be fun, so see what happens. Then we move to the main card, which has some pretty big names, some pretty good fights, and should give us some excitement, so let's take a look. 48, about to be 49 minutes in. Why waste any more time? Let's get into the main card, as we will begin in the middleweight division with a very good fight that's not going to go a round, let alone 15 minutes, gonna end very quickly, as we have in our main card opener of UFC Vegas 107 in the middleweight division, Zach the Savage Reese versus Duško Thunder Todorović. For once, I'll give UFC credit. This is a perfect main card opener because it's going to end quickly, which is usually their goal with a main card opener. They always put a fight that's decent and will end quickly as it, which it should be. Yeah, I really have to break this fight down. You know someone's getting knocked out quickly. Reese is a killer be killed. Duško Todorović is a getting KO'd master. Someone's getting KO'd here. So, I'll do a quick little fucking breakdown of each guy, but we already know what's gonna happen here, so let's do it. Main card opener, we begin with Zach Reese. 8-2, 31 years old, 2-2 in UFC, yes, 1-0 on Contender Series. Since coming off the Contender Series, he beat Julian Marquez and Jose Medina, losing to Cody Brundage and Azamat Bakoyev. Is he a good fighter? No. Is he entertaining? Yes. You know his fight's gonna end quickly. Outside that Medina fight, but Medina can just take punches and not fucking die, so whatever. Yeah, pretty much Reese is just one of the, again, kind of just a fun fighter. He kill or be killed. I-dubs, as I like to call him, because I think that's who he looks like. And, yeah, he hits hard. Can't really take a good punch, though. And should be interesting coming off that Bakoyev loss, which at the time we didn't know Bakoyev was fucking amazing. And we'll see how Reese bounces back from that. He bounced back from his first loss with two wins back to back. How does he bounce back from the Bakoyev loss? Getting a giant step down competition here against Duško Todorović. Duško 3-5 in the UFC. He's just a punching bag at this point. He always was, let alone now. Came off the Contender Series 3-5, as I said. He beat Daquan Townsend, Maki Pitolo, and Jordan Wright. He's lost to Punahele Soriano, Gregory Rodriguez, Chidin Jokwani, COD, and Mansour Abdul Malik. Obviously, we all saw he blew his knee out against COD, came back against Mansour, which, God, that was just fucked up matchmaking. And he took one of the worst beatings of 2024. Now back against another hard hitter. The UFC is just trying to get another highlight out of him because he's really good at getting knocked out. So yeah, yeah, he was never good. His only 3 wins are 3 complete tomato cans. Never could beat anyone with any talent. Yeah, and he's just garbage. So he beat Michel Pereira somehow on the regional scene. So however the fuck he pulled that rabbit out of his ass, I don't know. But outside of that, yeah, he's fucking garbage. Pretty long and short of it. The bang out of the fight have Zach Reese minus 285 to plus 230. I don't know about having that big of a favorite. I might move Reese down to minus 250. I think that'd be more on the money because Reese could get knocked out as well. Duško still will throw some bombs in his hands. But more than likely, Duško's gonna end this fight knocked out cold, so yeah. Give me Zach Reese by knockout in the first. Simple fucking prediction. Duško has no chin. Reese hits very fucking hard. Duško's gonna get sparked out here. Could Duško win? Yes, he could shoot takedowns, or he could fucking knock Reese out. But more than likely, Reese is going to put Duško out cold, so if anything else happened, I'd not be that shocked, but it's unlikely, so give me Zach Reese by knockout in the first. Duško's just a highlight machine, and not in the way you would think. You would usually use that term. He's a machine at making someone look good by letting them knock him out, pretty much, so give me Zach Reese by knockout in the first in a normal complete fucking layup, pretty much. UFC's just trying to get a win for a guy they like and a quick highlight to begin the main card. And so I'll agree with what their idea is and say Zachary Reese knockout in the first to begin the main card. After that, we go to our second fight of the night, back for the females, this time at the women's bantamweight division, and a top 5 fight in that division. So, kind of a decent fight here, which is very rare to say with women's bantamweight. Well, this fight's pretty decent. I say it should be the co-main to the co-main, but what does that tell you? I still think this is a decent fight. I thought this was going to be a fight night co-main when I first saw it get booked, but then clearly it's not, and it'd be insane if it was here. But this is still a decent fight. I'm a little excited for it. Could be interesting. Could be a pretty big fight in that division. As we have in our second fight of the main card in the top 5 of the women's bantamweight division. Ketlen Fenomeno Vieira versus Macy Chiasson. Again, it is a great fight. No, is it a bad fight? I don't think so. I think it's a perfectly fine fight. Again, top 5 fight at women's bantamweight. Should be interesting. Pretty big fight in that division. Winner of this could easily be 1 win away from a title shot. Should be interesting. Let's talk about it. We'll start with the higher ranked fighter of the two, Ketlen Vieira, who I think is ranked number 3, I believe. 8-4 in the UFC. Has had a really up and down UFC career. Very weird fucking career. Started her UFC career on a 4-fight winning streak. I did not know she beat Kat Zingano. I don't know how the fuck she pulled that one off. Then she got knocked out by Rayanne. I love that fucking knockout. Then she beat Sijara Eubanks, lost to Santos, won 2 in a row against 2 grandmas, lost to Rocky, beat Panny, and then gave Kayla Harrison a harder fight than Pena will. I've never really been sold on Ketlen. I don't think she's that good. Like, if you look at her wins, her best wins Kat Zingano. After that, it's what Miesha Tate and Holly Holm in 2022, in 2021. And then if you look at her losses, she's never really been able to get over the hump of a real fighter. Rayanne Aldana, she lost to Yana Santos, who I don't even think that's good. She lost to Raquel Pennington, beat her. Kayla Harrison beat her, which I wasn't understandable. She's kind of just fluked her way into a top 5 position when she's never beat anyone worth having that position. Again, her 3 best wins were fighters way past their prime. Kat, Miesha, and Holly. Aside that, Panny Kianzad and fucking Sarah McMahon. Ooh. So, I've never been sold on Ketlen. I don't think she's that good. And she didn't even beat Holly Holm, so I forgot about that. That was one of the worst robberies of all fucking time, so what does that tell you? But yeah, I don't think Ketlen's that good. I've never been sold on her. She put up a good fight against Kayla, I'll give her that, but that's about it. That's about her career highlight. She's getting older, 14-4, 33 years old now. She's not really bad anywhere. She's decently well-rounded, but I don't think she's good anywhere either. And yeah, I'm just not really sold on her. Again, she gave Kayla a real fight, I'll give her that, but outside of that, she's really not done a lot. She's not really done anything impressive in years. And again, I think she's kind of fluked her way into a high position when she really never deserved it. So that's what I think. Outside of that, not really a lot more to say. I've just never really been sold on Ketlen. I don't think she's that good. I don't think she's a top 5 fighter in that division, even in a weak division. I think Norm Dumont's better. I think fucking Eileen Perez is better. Have looked better, at least lately. Rayanne Aldana speaks for itself. Jacqueline Cavalcanti. So, I just don't think Ketlen's that good. And then for her opponent, Macy Chiasson, who's had another fighter with a weird UFC career, very up and down in her own right. 8-3, a lot more wins than losses compared to Ketlen. Her wins, Panny Kianzad, Gina Mazzani, Sarah Moras, Shanna Young, Marion Renault, Norm Dumont, Panny Kianzad again, and Mayra Bueno Silva. Her only losses have been Lena Landsberg, Raquel Pennington, and Irene Aldana. Macy's had a weird UFC career. She started off winning the Ultimate Fighter, having a lot of hype behind her, and then she kind of got stopped by Lena Landsberg, which is a weird loss. And then she started becoming really inactive. Beat Shanna Young, beat Marion Renault, and this is when featherweight was still a thing. Then they gave her a featherweight, and she has some problems. She misses weight and loses to Raquel. He gets finished, no less. She beats Norma barely in a kind of a fight where she looked terrible. Got that weird-ass liver kick against Irene. But ever since that Irene fight, she took some time off, came back in 2024, and she's looked great. beat Penny Kianzad again, which I know it's not a great win, but still. And then the interesting one of the two, and the one that was like, okay, she's kind of decent, beating Myra Bueno Silva as a giant underdog, which I predicted, though. Thank you. I'm right sometimes. Rarely, but sometimes. Which I know that's not aging great, but still at that time, that was Myra's first fight off the Raquel fight, so what did that tell you? Off the title fight, so what did that tell you? Macy has always had potential. I think we all know that. She has the size, her striking's meh, her grappling's great, she's super lengthy. She's always had the potential. She's 33 years old now. She still has a lot of time left, and she's looking like the fighter we were expecting. She's finally fighting like up to that potential, it seems, and she's looking good now. Again, her only losses are Irene, Raquel, and Lena. Lena's a bad loss, but the other two are understandable. So she's looking good now. I'm not gonna say she's gonna be a champion. I don't think she's gonna be a champion, but she's looking like that fighter who again had that potential. So she has her weight cut down, it seems, and a win here, she'd probably be one win away from a title shot, depending on what the fuck goes on with Kayla and Pena, those Nunez fight the winner, yada 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 yada. So, but right now she's looking good, and which is good for her, because again, she's always shown that potential. Now she's really living up to it. See how far she can actually go in this division. No, she's not going to be a champion, like I said. She has no chance against Kayla Harrison. She has a... Would she beat Norma again? Maybe. I think she'd probably win a Raquel rematch, and we'll see how she does again against Ketlen. So I don't know. It's good to see Macy fighting again actively, and she's looking good. So see how far she can really go in this division. Banter's fight are pretty much a pick'em, from what I remember. Maybe Ketlen's still a tiny bit of a favorite, but from what I remember, they were pretty much getting close to a pick'em now, which I agree it should probably be a pick'em. It's pretty much a fight of, if it's on the feet, Ketlen's gonna win. If it's on the ground, Macy's gonna win. So, who am I picking here? Between two 33-year-olds who have had weird up and down UFC careers. I'm gonna go who I think's better and who's always had that potential. Give me Macy Chiasson. I think she's the better fighter. If you want to look at it this way, I've used this analogy before, and I think it's a good analogy. Do you think Macy's striking is better, or do you think Ketlen's grappling is better? And I would say Macy's striking is better. So if it's in the striking realm, I think Macy puts up a better fight than Ketlen does on the ground. So, and we've seen Ketlen struggle with grapplers in the past, like fucking Yana Santos battered her on the ground. So Kayla Harrison just beat her, for fuck's sake. So now she's fighting another grappler. Again, let alone Macy, who I think actually has better striking than Kayla Harrison. Kayla has fucking none. It's interesting. It's very interesting, and I'm gonna lean Macy Chiasson here. I think she's a little better as a fighter, and I think Ketlen's has always had the same holes in her game. And I think this could look a lot like the Yana Santos fight for Ketlen, where she just got battered on the ground. So give me Macy Chiasson by decision, and what should be an interesting one. I expect a split decision. It's a woman's bantamweight. Expect a split decision. Wasn't even the Kayla fight a split? That was the UD. But yeah, expect a split decision, because judges cannot be fucking in agreement on a woman's fight, let alone a woman's bantamweight fight. So just get ready for that. We're probably gonna get a fucking split here. But I think I'm going to pick Macy. I think she's a little better, and she's on a roll right now. It's looked really good since coming back. That's how she does. But also, Ketlen just gave Kayla Harrison a fight, so you never know. It's an interesting fight. It's a very interesting fight. Big fight in the division. Norma's probably going to fight Raquel, so those two, we'll see what happens there. But for right now, we got Ketlen and Macy. Let's see what happens. I'm going to lean with the underdog on the betting odds, even though I think, again, it might be a pick'em now. Give me Machine Gun Kelly, Macy Chiasson by decision, and what should be a very close, interesting top 5 matchup. After that, we head back to the guys for a while, as in our third fight of the main card, we head to light heavyweight for another pretty tough fight to predict. One of the harder fights on the card to predict. Kind of the last few have been pretty difficult to predict. This one especially, as we have in the light heavyweight division, our heaviest fight of the night, and our third fight of the night between Dustin the Hanyak Jacoby versus Bruno Lopes. Interesting fight. I'm not gonna call it decent because I don't think it's decent, but it's interesting. Two fighters who I'm not super sold on or impressed with, but we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. Should be interesting. Again, another hard fight to predict in my opinion. So let's look at it. Begin with the veteran Dustin Jacoby, 37 years old now, coming off maybe the biggest one of his career. 8-6-1 in the UFC, had a very up and down UFC career, and this is his second stint in the UFC, obviously. His first stint didn't go well, lost 2 and got cut, but since coming back in 2020 off the Contender Series, he went on a long winning streak, beating Justin Ledet, Maxim Grisham, Darren Stewart, John Allan, Michael Jacek, Dawoon Jung, Kennedy Nzechukwu, and Vitor Petrino. His only losses were to Khalil Roundtree, even though that's a robbery, Azamat Mirzakhanov, Alonzo Menafield, and Dominic Reyes, and he had a draw with Ian Kutilaba. Jacoby is such a weird fighter. Right when you think his career's over, he fucking wins. He's done that twice now. You think his career's over, he's fucking lost 2 in a row and looked terrible, and then he wins. I don't get that. But yeah, in the last fight against Vitor Petrino, fight was terrible, and then out of nowhere landed a Kamaru Usman fucking overhand right cross to put Petrino out cold. So out of fucking nowhere, and just crazy. Truly very crazy. And now he's fighting another Brazilian prospect, Bruno Lopes. We'll see how he does here. He's such a weird fighter. He can look shit all fight and then pull a knockout of his fucking ass, or he can do it early in the fight. I don't think he's that good. He has no chin. That's one thing that has always stayed. He has no fucking chin. If you can crack that chin, it's pretty easy and you'll win. But if you don't, then he's gonna make you fight. He's not gonna let you win a layup. He's gonna make you fight if you don't crack that chin, and he knows how to go that 15 minutes. A lot of those wins have been decisions, so only 3 decisions. I swear it felt like more, especially watching them live. I swear it felt like more, but I guess I'm wrong. But yeah, he's a veteran. Outside of having a weak chin, he's pretty well rounded, and we'll see what he does here against another Hungary Brazilian prospect. See how he does. That prospect in question is Bruno Lopes, 14-1, 32 years old, 1-0 in the UFC, 1-1 on the Contender Series. In his first Contender Series run, he lost to Brinson Ribeiro. Wow, that aged great. And then in his last Contender Series fight, he beat some Tomato Can pretty easily to get a contract. And then his debut earlier this year, he beat Magomed Gaziashulov in a terrible fight where I'm pretty sure he just hugged him on the cage for 15 minutes and beat him doing that, which, you know, exciting. And now he's fighting Jacoby. I don't think Bruno's that good. I'm truly not that sold on Lopes. You lost to Brinson Ribeiro, then you came back and beat a Tomato Can, and then you cuddled Magomed Gaziashulov. Yeah, I'm not been impressed with this dude yet. I'm truly not. I'm just not impressed with this dude at the moment. So, especially when he came on to Contender Series against Ribeiro as a hyped up prospect, just gets sparked out. So I'm just not really fucking sold on this guy as a prospect yet. So maybe if he can come out here and look good against Jacoby, we might be talking. But as of right now, coming off a pretty boring win against Gaziashulov, I really struggle to look at him as a prospect, let alone his fights beforehand. So we'll see though. The Bengals for this fight kind of agree with me, having Dustin Jacoby minus 155 to plus 125. I'd have Jacoby, yeah, probably the same. Well, I'd probably have about the same. Maybe you can move him to minus 160, 165, but I think that's about a fair odd. You won't want him too big of a favorite, because again, that chin is easily cracked. But outside that, it's gonna be a tight fight, but Jacoby should win. He should be the better fighter here. Like, he's more experienced, he's fought better competition, that's self-explanatory. Again, I'm just not sold on Lopes. I don't think he's that good. I truly just, from what I've seen in his 3 fights, 2 contender series and 1 again in the UFC, dude's not that good. And I'm not high on Dustin Jacoby, but I think he can fucking win this fight. I think he probably is the better fighter. And if he can just not get his chin cracked, he should win this. I think he probably has better cardio. He's obviously more experienced. I think he has more heart. He should win this. So, give me Dustin Jacoby by decision. I doubt he finishes Lopes. I think a lot of people are kind of overhyping that Ribeiro knockout. Because again, I don't look at Jacoby as a finisher. I swear to God, it never feels like he's a finisher. So, maybe I'm wrong here. He won't knock out Lopes. But I'm feeling a decision. I think Jacoby just kind of out-veterans him and is able to win this fight, just being the smarter, more experienced guy. So, give me Dustin Jacoby by decision. I just think he's the better fighter. I'm not sold on Lopes yet as a prospect. Again, in his 3 fights, I've not been impressed one bit. Now getting a big step up against a veteran coming off a ginormous win, maybe the best one of his career. Give me Dustin Jacoby by decision. Could it be wrong? Easily. Again, Jacoby could get knocked out. Jacoby could just fumble the bag and lose this. Either are possible. But I'm going to say he doesn't. I'm going to say Dustin Jacoby by decision to beat another prospect. Maybe he'll send this one up to heavyweight as well. Who knows? After that, we go to our featured bout, because it's before the co-main. Still don't know what that fucking means. As we have in our 4th fight of the night, I believe at a catchweight as well. 2 catchweight fights, am I right? No, it's at welterweight. Respect to both for that. And I'll explain why I say that in a second. Because this is a short-nosed fight, another one, but not as short-nosed as the other ones earlier. Because the shit that happened here was like a week ago, so yeah. But in our 4th fight of the main card, our featured bout of the main card in the welterweight division. Some changes had to be made, but we still get a good fight here. As we have in our 4th fight of the main card, Ramiz Brahimaj versus Billy Ray Goff. So how do we get to this fight? Well, a lot fucking happened. So, originally, Ramiz was gonna fight Oban Elliott, and Billy Ray Goff was gonna fight Seok Hyun Ko. But Oban and Ko both had visa issues, and Ramiz and Billy wanted to stay on the card. They're in the same weight class, so why not have them fight? And for an update on the Oban Ko situation, they got rebooked to fight each other now in Azerbaijan in a few weeks on the Roundtree Hill card. So now, instead of these 2 fights, it's these 2 fights. Oh. Weird circumstances, but that's how shit plays out in MMA, so I've never seen double visa issues like that, but what can you do? We still get a fight. These 2 stay on the card, and it should still be a decent fight, so let's talk about it. And we'll begin with Ramiz Brahimaj, 11-5, 32 years old, 3-3 in the UFC. His 3 wins in the UFC have been Sasha Palatnikov, Michael Gilmore, and Mickey Gall. His 3 losses have been Max Griffin, Court McGee, and Samba Gorimbo. I don't think Ramiz is that good, to be honest. His 3 wins, Sasha Palatnikov, a complete UFC washout. Michael Gilmore, I don't even know why they gave him a fight. And Mickey Gall, self-explanatory. His losses, Max Griffin, yeah, it's understandable, and God, it was so disgusting. Court McGee, same thing. Samba Gorimbo, that's not aged great. So, but Ramiz is back fighting actively, now fighting Billy Ray Goff. If he beat Goff somehow, it'd be his best win in his whole career. So we'll see if he can pull it off. Because, yeah, so far he's only been able to beat tomato cans, and his losses have been against okay fighters. I don't think he's that good. Again, I know he's coming off a performance-winning knockout, is what the UFC would tell you, but then you actually look at the details. It's Mickey Gall, who's a joke. And before then, the other thing, he has all his wins by finish. Sasha Palatnikov, Michael Gilmore. So, who are you fooling, UFC? I just really don't think Ramiz is that good, if I'm being honest, so I truly don't, so it's that simple. It's good to see him back fighting actively, so he's not wasting a roster spot, but he's not good. It's truly not. For his opponent, Billy Ray Goff, 9-3, 26 years old, 1-1 in the UFC, in my opinion, should be 2-0, coming off the Contender Series. In his 2 UFC fights, he has, in my opinion, beat Yusaku Kinoshita. Remember him? He was a complete washout. And Trey Waters. Kinoshita, he ran through, and I predict him to win as an underdog, if I remember correctly. Again, Kinoshita, just a complete UFC washout. That dude just really could not make it, and couldn't make it past Billy Ray Goff. And then Trey Waters, who had won the best fights of 2024. It's still debatable on that decision, and what can you do? Now he's back a little more than a year later against Ramiz Brahimaj. Billy's kind of a running theme for this card. He's a fun fighter. He's not trying to be a champion. He's fun. He hits hard. He's very explosive. He's very kill or be killed. Got a good chin, got good power, decent cardio. He just wants to fight, and that's what you're gonna get for Billy Ray Goff a fight. So that's why it is so high on the main card, because Billy Ray Goff's gonna bring a banger every fucking time, and that's what we expect here. Another Billy Ray Goff banger, a year since his last one. Time for a new one. So. Yeah, he's not really a prospect, because, again, I really don't see him being champ or anything, or even trying to be. He's just trying to be a fun fighter, and that's all we really want from him, so let's see it. The betting odds for I have Goff minus 340 to plus 270. I don't like Ramiz, but I think those odds are a little high. I'd probably have Goff around minus 290, 300. He should win. I think he is better than Ramiz, and he will probably be able to be better than Ramiz. But I don't know, minus 340, 350. I like Goff, but he's definitely had blatant holes in his game at being his fight IQ is non-existent. So if he had better fight IQ, yeah, but he's just madness. There's no control. There's no method to his madness. He's just fucking psychopath, and that could get him to some really bad spots. Against Ramiz, he should be fine. He still should be able to squeak out a win here, but another fucking against a lot better fighters, he would be in some problems. So yeah, I don't know. I'm picking Billy for sure, but I don't know, that minus 340 doesn't feel right. Ramiz could take this. Is it likely? No. Ramiz winning this is very unlikely, but I guess it's possible. Again, Billy fights so crazy, you never fucking know. But more than likely what I see happening is Billy's going to give Ramiz hell for 15 minutes and win a decision. I could see a finish. I could totally see a finish. But I think Ramiz has only been finished one time, and that was that Max Griffin year. Yeah, so he's pretty tough to finish. And I don't know if a finish is very possible here, but I don't know if Billy's gonna be the one to do it. So I'm trying to think. Do I see Billy finish again? Nah. I'm gonna go safe. Give me Billy Ray Goff by decision. I think he's gonna give it. Bare minimum, he's gonna give it to Ramiz for at least 2 rounds, and then Ramiz might steal round 3 after Billy casts it out. But even that's kind of unlikely, because I don't know how Ramiz is gonna be looking by round 3. So a lot of questions in this fight, but I think Billy should win this. Again, I think he's just better, and yeah, he should take this. So, give me Billy Ray Goff by decision in what should be a normal Billy Ray Goff banger. And, yeah, not really much else to say there, I don't believe. Again, could Ramiz take it? Yes, I think minus 340 is a little high, but I think Goff should still win, so give me Billy Ray Goff by decision. Is that decision pick gonna look stupid by the end of the fight? Probably. But I don't know, Ramiz is tough to finish, and I don't know if Goff is going to be the one to do it, so give me Billy Ray Goff by decision in what should be a very, very fun fight, like always with Billy Ray Goff, BRG. Yeah, doesn't really roll off the tongue, does it? Whatever. Goff by decision. Which leads us into our co-main event of the evening, the fight everyone wants to be the main event, even though it would be an unranked guy fighting a boring guy. Think about it, people. As we have in our co-main event of the evening, the second best, well, probably the best fight on the card. A very good fight here. But again, it's one of them is still unranked. So, think. As we have in our co-main event of the evening in the lightweight division, a very interesting fight that excuse me, that should be very interesting and good, maybe. As we have in our co-main event of the evening, Mateusz Gamrot versus Mr. Highlight Ludwig Klein. I get why people want this to be the co-main, or the main, I mean, but it's much better as a co-main, because it's a very good fight. Ludwig finally getting his top 15 shot, and Gamrot fighting again for the first time in forever. Let's see what happens. Let's see. I can take a guess what's gonna happen. I think a lot of us know what's gonna happen. It's not what anyone wants, but whatever, what can you do? Let's get into it. We'll begin with the top-ranked Mateusz Gamrot. Gamrot in the UFC is 7-3, even though that record could be very different if the judges were not assholes. In his debut, he fought Garam Kutchaladze and won that fight, and so I'll as many times I'll say is he got handed a fight. That was bullshit against Garam. Then he went on a winning streak, beating Holtzman, Stevens, and Vieira. Then he lost to Arman Tsarukyan, got completely embarrassed by Beneil Dariush, lost to Jalen Turner, no contest against Rafael Fiziev, barely beat a 60-year-old RDA, and clearly lost to Dan Hooker. Gamrot's not good. Let's just be blunt about it. Gamrot's not good. His best wins are flukes or robberies. His best legit win is Garam or Diego Vieira. So he's a boring fighter. He can't strike. He just wants to cuddle. He's a bitch. He's not a fighter. That's all I can say. He's a little bitch. He's not gonna try and actually fight you. He just wants to smell your fucking nuts for 15 minutes. He's not a fighter. And he's been handed so much. Again, Arman and Turner robberies. Get fucking real. Come on. So, he's not good. I don't get the hot point about the hype with him. He's overrated. It's that simple. He's over fucking rated. Let's just be honest now, people. To talk about his opponent, Ludwig Klein, 23-4-1, 30 years old, finally getting his top 15 shot, and a 7-2-1 UFC record on a long-ass winning streak. Down at featherweight when he debuted, he went 1-2, beating Shane Young in his debut and then losing to Michael Trezano in late Landwehr. But ever since moving up to 155, which is, I believe, when he moved up, yep, he's went pretty much undefeated. Beat Devontae Smith, Mason Jones, Ignacio Bahamondes, AJ Cunningham, Thiago Moises, and Roosevelt Roberts. Had a draw with Jai Herbert in the middle there. So he is on a 6 fight winning streak. And, yeah, he looks great. Or is it the best winning streak? Not really. Devontae Smith, trash. Mason Jones, trash. Bahamondes, that cannot age any better. AJ Cunningham, trash. Thiago Moises, okay. Roosevelt Roberts, trash. But he's also had some fights canceled with Joe Alvarez, Jim Miller. So, he's kind of taking what he can get, you know. Ludwig's very good. His striking and kicks are amazing. His cardio is decent. Average is moving up to 155. He's looked great. Takedown wise, which we know that's gonna be the biggest part of this fight. We'll see how he looks. If he can stop takedowns, he'll win this fight easily. He needs to stop takedowns though, so we'll see if he can do that. Because I might remember his takedown defense. Who have we seen him have to stop takedowns from? I think Ignacio, maybe. That's about it. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if he's legit here. Again, 6 wins in a row. You earned your top ranked fight opportunity here. Now make the most of it. We'll see if Ludwig can. The betting odds for this fight have Matej Gamrot minus 140 to plus 120. I get it. And I'll be blunt. I do think Gamrot's just gonna cuddle him for 15 minutes. I don't think Klein's gonna win this fight. I think he's probably gonna get cuddled for 15 minutes, and that'll be that, which sucks, but that's the truth. But I'm biased. I have no problem saying that I am, and fuck Matej Gamrot, so give me Ludwig Klein by decision. There's a world Klein can win this fight. Again, he would need to stop takedowns for 15 minutes, which is a lot easier said than done. When a guy's not ever gonna actually try and fight you, and he's just gonna try and take you down, so yeah. Kind of the same thing I'll say about Sean O'Malley next week. But, yeah, I think Gamrot's gonna win this fight, to be honest, but I am gonna pick Ludwig here because fuck Matej Gamrot, he sucks, he's a bitch, and he deserves nothing good because he's a boring coward who doesn't want to actually fight anybody. So, and give me Ludwig Klein by decision. Do I think he's gonna win? No. Do I hope he wins? God, yes, I think we all do, so. What I think's gonna happen, Gamrot, boring decision. What I hope happens, Ludwig Klein, baby, get the win. I'm gonna go Ludwig Klein by decision, in what should be a very intriguing fight. I'm very intrigued. I would laugh so hard if it's a boring Gamrot cuddle fest and the main event's better than it, because then that would shut up everybody, so. I hope that happens to an extent, just because it'd be pure comedy to rub it in everyone's face, but, we'll see, man. I think Gamrot's gonna boringly cuddle him, but I'm gonna put my pick in biasly at Ludwig, Mr. Highlight Klein. And now, time for the main event of the evening. Our first main event back from break week, and our last one, the Apex, for a long time. I don't even know what the next Apex card is. I don't think I have the main event booked yet for it either. As we have in our main event of the evening, our main event of UFC Vegas 107, our first main event since coming back, our last main event of May, right? Before we head into June and July, which are a lot of traveling dates. We have in our main event to end the night in the women's flyweight division. We had one female fight in every weight class, and flyweight ends it all, in every female weight class, and flyweight ends it all with a main event between cold-blooded Blanchfield versus Macy, the future Barber. Yeah, again, I don't think this is a bad main event. I get why it's a main event. It's a top 5 fight, which, fuck, that's rare enough to get out of the main event. And it's a very important fight in the division. It's a very interesting fight. So, let's see what happens. 2 fighters the UFC has tried to push in the past. One has to win, one has to lose. Let's see what happens. We'll start with Cold-Blooded, the rare main event. Well, I'll actually go in depth on the fighters a little bit. And we'll start with Cold-Blooded, 26 years old, 7-1 in the UFC. We all know Blanchfield by now. She started her UFC career on with just steamrolling everybody. Beat Jessica Andrade in her first main event, then beat Talia Santos, which that aged great. She looked better against Talia than Valentina did. Then she met Manon Fiore, and yeah, that went bad. She kind of got fraud checked. To an extent. Then she came back from that against Rose Namajunas and looked, in my opinion, terrible. I don't think she looked good in that fight at all. Maybe it's just me. I don't think she looked good. And now she's fighting Macy Barber. At this point, I'm okay with saying I think Ern's pretty overrated and one-dimensional. She hasn't got better. I've not seen her get better from when she first started. She still can't strike. I've never seen her throw a fucking kick. If she can't get you down, she can't beat you. It is truly that simple. She's not gotten better. I've not seen anything to say she's gotten better. If you look at her against Rose and Manon, and then even in all her fights before then, again, she can't strike. She can't, like, I get, give her time, she's young, but after a while, when are you going to fix the problem? You can't strike. So, she's one-dimensional and overrated. She looked awful against Rose, in my opinion. She looked fucking awful. Against Rose in 2024. Come on. Like, I don't know. I was high on Ern, and I gave Ern a lot of the benefit of the doubt after the Manon fight. But she looked terrible against Rose, and she's just not getting better. Maybe she'll come out in this fight with better striking game. But until I see it, it's hard to believe it. I just think Ern's pretty overrated. Now, on the other side of the coin, we got Macy Barber, someone who I was high on calling overrated for a long time. But the last few fights, I've kind of turned a corner on her. 9-2 now in the UFC. In her early UFC career, I was, again, very 10 toes down on calling her overrated. Her first 3 wins, Hannah Cyphers, Garbage, JJ Aldrich, and Jillian Robertson. That's aged really well, actually. Then we all remember her getting fraud checked by Roxanne Modafferi, Alexa Grasso beating her ass, but ever since then, she's kind of turned a corner. Well, we all remember that legendary Miranda Maverick robbery, but then she started doing better. Montana De La Rosa, that was not great. Jessica Ai, okay. Andrea Lee, debatable if she won that fight, but then she really turned on that insane Amanda Hebos fight, and then she beat Caitlin Seminara. Has she been the most impressive? No. Has she got the best wins? Fuck no. But she's shown potential. Now, 27 years old, been off for a long time now, been off for over a year. Her first main event, which I'm shocked by that. She's still young, 14-2, 27 years old. UFC's wanted to push her for years. This is her time. I think she has potential. I think she's really looked bad in fights, though. Again, against Andrea Lee, I think she lost. Against Miranda Maverick, we know she lost. She looked good against Hebos. She's down to get down and dirty in a fight. But can she keep it standing in this fight to where she could make it down and dirty? We'll see. The UFC's getting their dream. Can Barber finally become legit? We're gonna find out. If she wins this, they're gonna hype a 7-fight winning streak, la da 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 da. Which, let's be honest, is a 3-fight winning streak, but still, we'll see. The UFC's finally putting Macy in a main event after all these years. Again, I'm shocked it didn't happen sooner. Let's see how she looks. The betting odds say she's gonna look terrible. Ern Blanchfield minus 175, and actually, that's not even what they are. At this point, Ern is minus 250 when I looked earlier in the day. To Macy's plus 140, I think she's like plus 190 now, which I think is batshit. I don't know how the fuck you have Ern Blanchfield minus 250 in this fight. Should Ern be the favorite? Yes, but barely. I think minus 130, 140. I don't really get why she's such a big favorite. Macy has grappling. Not great, she has grappling. I've said this all week. If Macy can keep it standing, she'll win easily. Ern can't strike. Fucking Ern makes Macy look like Alexa Grasso when it comes to fucking striking. If Barber can keep the fight standing, or even reverse and end up on top at times, or something stupid, stand up, Macy should win this. I don't think Ern can win this fight if she can't get takedowns. She's not shown any improvement, and until she does, I struggle to see her beating Macy when I've seen Macy stop takedowns before. And she is a grappler. She can grapple. Again, I completely see a world where Macy stuffs Ern's takedowns like Manon did all fight and beats her. Why could this fight not go the exact same way as the Manon fight? yeah, Barber is a lesser striker of Manon. She can still strike better than Ern. So I just struggle to see why Ern is still such a big favorite when she's been very exposed for having one game plan. So outside of Barber being off for a while with some injuries and shit, I really struggle to see why the odds are like that. So yeah, I don't agree with them. And my pick, I think for the first time ever picking against Ern seriously, I'm going Macy Barber. I think she can win this fight. I think she should. Again, if she can keep it standing, stuff takedowns, even for just 3 rounds, she should win this fight. If Rose gave her problems and Manon completely destroyed her, dude, fucking JJ Aldrich, I believe, was winning against Ern until she got that fucking standing guillotine. So, I like Ern. This is the first time I've ever actually picked against her seriously. But I think Barber's better as a fighter overall, well-roundedness. She should win. I truly think Barber should win this fight. I think she's better. I just don't think Ern is what the UFC has hyped her up to be at this moment, because she's not gotten better. At one point, she looked phenomenal, unbeatable, but then when you really pull back to current, and especially see her against higher-level competition, she's kind of shit the bed and been disappointing, so we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Ern throws her around for 25 minutes. It's completely possible. But I'm going Macy Barber by decision. I think she's going to be able to stop the takedowns and keep it standing for long enough to win. We know she's crazy enough to just have a brawl on the feet. I don't think Ern's going to want to take that. Give Macy Barber by decision. I think she can stuff takedowns and win. Again, could this age terribly and she gets 50-45? Yes. But is there a world where I see Barber stuffing takedowns and winning this fight? Yes. Give me Macy Barber by decision. Should be an interesting fight. Gonna be a close one. Give me the underdog. Give me the future by decision and what should be very, very interesting. Can she stop the takedowns? Let's find out. But what I'll find out right now is me saying, boom. That's the card. To go over my picks one more time. Rayanne dos Santos by decision. Michael Aswell by decision. My lock of the night, Andreas Gustafsson by knockout in the first. Jordan Leavitt by decision. Jafel Filho by decision. Zach Reese by knockout in the first. Macy Chiasson by decision. Dustin Jacoby by decision. Billy Ray Goff by decision. Ludwig Klein by decision. And Macy Barber by decision. Bang! I know, another card full of decision picks, but like I always say, what fights could you really see ending in a finish? No. Doubtful. 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 These are the two most, which I could see you making a case for, especially this one. So, I could have at most 4 finishes, in my opinion. Outside of that, the rest should probably be decisions, so maybe I'm wrong, we'll find out, but that's what I think. 4 fights at most, finish-wise. The rest probably going to the judges. And that's about what I think of UFC Vegas 107 for this breakdown. Again, I don't think the cards are bad. There's some, if you know your shit, the card's not bad. I know, main event, but steps, I don't know, stupid people. 2 people who say stupid shit. Hell, I'm one of them. But I think the main event's fine. It should be interesting, and I'm very intrigued in the card overall, so yeah, but what I think about it. When will you hear me talk about this card again? As always, of course, on Sunday when I'll recap it, I'll tell you if it was good or terrible as expected. We'll find out. Can it be as terrible as this poster? We'll see. But what I do know is I think that's about it. I think that's about it for this video. I don't really have much else to say. Again, I think the card's fine. I'm excited for it because the UFC is back. And let's see what happens, man. Let's truly see what happens. So, yeah, UFC Vegas 107. We back. Last time in the Apex for a while after this. So, let's just get through it and see what happens. So, that's that. You'll hear from me again on Sunday when I recap this. Hopefully better than expected card. And with that being said, I can't think of anything else more to say unless I'm getting to say something, which I don't believe I am. So as always, let's close this out before my voice is completely shot an hour and 40 minutes into this almost, by saying, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, 100 subs goal by the end of 2025. And as always, RX out. Good vibes only and always.